So there are a couple of forces at play that are causing businesses to really look at their security situation. Companies are innovating all the time, and there's many more devices at play than there were. But at the same time, the bad guys are innovating, and they are very organized, they're very agile, and they're also very patient. And the malware that they're able to develop at this point is becoming much more sophisticated.
It all started with Target December 2013, and 2014 was really called as the year of retail breaches. And there were about 20 major retailers that were breached and about 679 known breaches with about 500 million records that were published online. And in 2015, we saw a shift in that retailers continued to be breached, but about 35% of the breaches that happened in 2015 were healthcare focused and insurance companies. About 80% of the data that was out in the public domain from these healthcare and insurance providers.
You're right about 2014 being the year of the breach, and the fact that breaches are now commonly understood. We hear about them every week in the news, and with that, companies are starting to talk about them in boardrooms.
There are three fundamental problems that a CIO faces. Number one is cost, the ballooning cost of security. Number two is finding the right people. And number three, maintaining all these security systems consistently and keeping them up to date.
It's getting harder and harder to hire people that understand and can evolve with the growing security threats. For a business, it's what do I select as the technology, and then how do I staff appropriately in order to make it all work together. From a compliance perspective, we're seeing that many of the compliance standards, while we talk about them becoming more simple, as time goes on, they actually are becoming more complex, and that creates substantial challenges for a business, not only to understand what the requirements are, but then to put the appropriate controls in place to make sure they're compliant.
Companies think about compliance because it's mandated, but essentially that's like agreeing to a C- in a course. The reality is that they should be thinking about security as a whole rather than be just compliant, let me be secure. This has happened numerous times when many breaches have occurred. For example, Target, when they got breached in 2013, they were compliant, but that doesn't mean that they were secure. So that's a common misperception that companies have when they think that they're going to be secure if they're compliant. But the reality is that you got to do things which are far beyond the small scope of compliance to make sure that you're secure.
Our roots are in the compliance area, and we've found that ultimately in order for a business to be compliant, as JV said, they have to be secure. And so it's only natural that you be able to offer a business compliance solutions alongside security solutions. The value in what we're doing is we're orchestrating the two together.
ControlScan security services are pretty much all cloud-based. Number one, it helps to reduce the cost that the customer has to invest. They don't have to invest in appliances that they have to house internally, so there's cost savings from that perspective. Number two, ControlScan has wealth of security expertise that we have gathered over a period of time that we can apply to a lot of customers versus just one. The suite of solutions that we offer pretty much satisfies all the security needs of a mid-sized enterprise. ControlScan is there at every step of the way. From the moment you engage ControlScan, we will have our security experts working with you either on the ground or on the phone, working with you to set up the security devices and set up the policies and procedures to manage it appropriately over a period of time. The one-stop shop to which you can escalate all your security concerns. In other words, we become your trusted security advisor.